What you saying, everyone? Here we are, Saturday morning. Another weekend of Premier League action is upon us. Some big games this weekend, some important games this weekend. Like I say, if you're not subscribed already, we're nearly at that 1K mark, so hit that subscribe button. Hopefully when we get over 1K, we can jump in with our first live stream. So we're looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get there soon. Maybe even for the derby. Imagine a Manchester derby live stream, man. So yeah, hit the button, and hopefully we'll get there. So on to the weekend's action. We're going to talk through some predictions for the games. We're going to do a deep dive into the City versus Brighton game. Obviously, Liverpool-Arsenal's the massive game on Sunday as well. So we'll be looking into that. But I think it's only fair to start with Man City. Soon as that's the main point of me being here in the first place. It's a massive game on Sunday. We're in the early kickoff. It's Brighton. It's away. Coming off the back of a loss. It's a scary one. I can't lie. It's a scary one. The last thing we need right now is back-to-back losses this early in a season. And I know if it does come to that, people will be saying, oh, it's still early, like we're only 3 games in. But I don't feel that way, because this is a continuation from all the problems that we had last year. This should be the time now where we're turning the corner and kicking on and moving away from all the darkness and the shit that we went through last season. So I don't like throwing the words must win around this early on, but if we want to carry on with confidence throughout the rest of this season, we can't be dropping back-to-back losses. And I mean, Brighton hadn't looked that great the first 2 games, let's be real. Like, they're right near the bottom of the table. Obviously, they drew against Fulham. And, like, this should be the perfect time to play them. I know it's away. I know it's tough. They're a notoriously good side, and they beat us last year. But we're not the same Man City that we was last year, or I'd like to think we're not. Their style of play, in my opinion, should suit us down to the ground. There's this narrative going round this year that Man City have lost the fear factor. Like, I've heard quite a lot of people saying this on stream, on Twitter. And that actually kind of makes me happy, man. I can't lie. I want teams to think that they can come and play us off the park, because that suits us down to the ground. I'm absolutely sick to the back teeth of playing against fucking low blocks every week. So I actually hope that teams look at us and think, we can go out and beat them this week, because I think that's when City are at the best. When people want to come and go toe-to-toe with us, that's when we'll pick you off. That's when we'll pass through your lines. That's when we'll get Haaland in behind. And that's where we'll start scoring the majority of our goals in these kind of fast break situations. So I can see us doing something similar to Brighton. They're a great football inside. They'll come to play. And I think we'll just have too much firepower for them in the final third. I can see Haaland scoring today. It should suit him. He's got to... Again, City have got to win. I think Haaland's got to get involved in this game, whether he scores, assists, or just cause some trouble, man. Go and be a big fucking lumpy striker, knock the centre-backs about, hold the ball up, bring people into the game. Like, I'm sick of this kind of lackadaisical 1-0, heads down, don't get into the game enough attitude from him recently. So I want to see him fighting from the off today. He's part of that captain's group now, and I think he needs to start acting like it and grab the game by the scruff of its neck. So I want a big performance from him today. But yeah, my prediction, I think, is going to probably be a 3-1 Man City. I can see us conceding, because we usually always do anyway. But I can see us just, like I say, having too much firepower up front to not score at least a couple of goals today. Team-wise, this is tough, man. I've thought about the team. There's a lot of if, buts and maybes around this squad at the moment. I know Pep's come out in his press conference and said, like, Ait Nouri's available. Obviously, Guardiola's on his way back from injury. Rodri's on his way back from injury. But we don't know whether they're ready for a full 90, whether they're ready to start, whether it's going to be a half an hour cameo. So it's been quite difficult to think of the team that they're going to play at the moment. The keeper situation, is Ederson going? Is Donnarumma coming in? If Ederson's going and that's the plan, then I'm 100% certain that Trafford will start today. If the plan is for Donnarumma to come through the door. If in what I think is the best option, Ederson's going to stay another year, which is my preferred scenario, I'd start Ederson today. Get him straight back into the team. My preference is that Ederson sticks around for one more year. Trafford spends a year learning from the best ball-playing goalkeeper of all time. And he'll be ready to take over from next season when he learns the patterns of plays a little bit more behind the scenes, gets game time in a few times in the Premier League and also in the cup games as well. And just get used to that little bit more about like I say, the patterns of play, who to give the ball to, when to give the ball, and who better to learn off than Ederson, man. So, in my opinion, I'd want to see Ederson starting in net today, if he's staying. That's a big if, because obviously the Donnarumma rumours are still flying around. I don't know what to believe anymore, though, because Fabrizio just tweets the same shit every day. So, until I see him in a City shirt, I'm just not taking anything for granted. So, it's a bit of a toss-up there, really. I'd imagine it would be Trafford, but if the plan is to keep Ederson, then I'd stick him in net. The back four, again, up in the air with Aït-Nouri, up in the air with Guardiola. I can't see, if Aït-Nouri is fit, I'd be very surprised if Pep does go for Núñez and Aït-Nouri. I think it would be one or the other. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind it, because I think that plays a big influence in who's going to start on the wings as well. And the players that I want to see starting in the wings or inverted winger positions kind of do suit having Núñez and Aït-Nouri on the pitch. But I know that's kind of wild to play against Brighton away. And I don't want to be trying to full send it like we did against Spurs last week and just getting hurt on the counter-attack. So if Aït-Nouri's fit, I would personally start him. Again, Guardiola, it's tough, man. Aït-Nouri to start on the left. I keep saying that I want Diaz to be dropped at the moment. I think we need Cousinov in this team. Genuinely, whether that's at right back, dropping into a back three in possession, or in the back two, next to Stones or next to Guardiola when he's fit. I just think it'll help us so much more in defending against that quick transition from teams who like to soak up pressure and then hit us on the counter-attack by moving the ball quickly and getting in behind. So, if Diaz is going to play today, if Guardiola's not quite there yet, then it would be Diaz and Stones. And then I'd play Cousinov right back. Like I say, Aït-Nouri's going to be up the pitch, high and wide, hopefully, underlapping, overlapping. We know we can do both. And then obviously Cousinov can drop into a back three then with Stones and Diaz in possession, and he will give us that recovery pace. And just make us feel that little bit safer, man, with Stones and Diaz in transition. I know Núñez has probably got that as well. He has got that recovery pace. He's rapid, but we're not going to see Núñez dropping into a back three, are we? He's going to be high and wide as well. So, yeah. And if not that, then stick Cousinov next to Stones and play Núñez right back. And we'll just fucking send it with high and wide wingers. And then with this man, hopefully starting today, Rodri, he's obviously give the back two that little bit more cover as well. So, again, up in the air with Rodri, come on last week. I want to see him start today. I want to see him start getting proper minutes. I don't think he'll play the full game, but I want to see him come in, just shore up that midfield, just give the full team like that Rodri confidence. Like, we was a completely different side when he was fully fit the year before, and I think he just helps the whole team just relieve that pressure because they know we've got him there to fall back on. Like, he's that good. He's that good that he drags the whole team up, just lets them take the pressure off and let them play their game rather than worrying about doing all these additional jobs, tracking back. So I want to see Rodri thrown straight back in today. And I think he will. I think he will. I think Pep will try and turn back into Control FC again today, especially against Brighton. So I can see him put in a Bernardo or a Nico G next to Rodri as well. Especially if he's playing Nunes and Aït-Nouri, it's probably sensible to go with a Nico G or Bernardo next to him, just for that little bit of extra coverage if we do get caught in possession. So I can see either one of them two playing. If it's up to Pep, then I think it will probably be Bernardo. Obviously the club captain as well didn't start the last game, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was Rodri, Bernardo. I think then it will be Reinders in front of them two in just a little bit more of an advanced role. I know people have been screaming out for Foden and Cherky to pick up this central position, but after last week, I just think we need to be careful. We can't be getting hit with a quick 1-2 and finding ourselves 2-0 down. So I think start sensible, back to Control FC, and then if we need to, then we can always rely on these guys later in the game. Saying that, if Nunes is right back, I'm bringing Foden straight back into the team as well. He needs minutes as much as Rodri does. He needs to hit the ground running this season. I want to see him back to his best. Rodri, and of all the signings we've made this year, nobody's going to be more important to this team than Foden and Rodri if they get back to the levels that they was 2 seasons ago. There are 2 most important returns this year, or so-called signings. And that's only going to happen if they're getting consistent game time. I think Foden looked good in the Club World Cup in pre-season. He looked sharp again. New trim, hopefully, means new look as well. So I'd have him coming off the right-hand side, picking up those central positions as well, next to Reinders, with Nunes overlapping. Obviously, if Cousinov is at right back, then I'd imagine it would be Bob on the right wing, just to hold that front line high and wide. But I'd personally go Foden. And I'd probably be open to Bob playing on the left wing, as I think he's one of the rare commodities that we've got who can actually do both jobs really well. The other wingers, I prefer either one side or the other, whereas I think I actually like Bob either side. I think he can do both jobs really well, really intelligent footballer. So saying that, I've got Bob / Marmoush, or even bloody Cherky as well, from the left. But because of his vein of form, and because he's probably been our brightest spark the first 2 games, I'm going to probably say Bob for left wing. Again, it's tough because if Aït-Nouri's playing, I'd imagine it would work slightly better having a Marmoush or a Cherky drifting into those central areas. But we don't really want to get it too congested either. If obviously Foden's already there, Reinders is already there. But I don't mind it at all. I think Brighton's strong suit is probably their midfield, the likes of Carlos Baleba. And if we want to target that, the best way to do it is probably to just get bodies around him, innit? So he's chasing shadows. I think if Baleba gets a Foden 1v1 or a Reinders 1v1 for the whole game, he'll probably back himself. But if we have these inverted wingers pulling him, picking areas up all around the pitch, interchanging, it being really fluid, Foden on the right 1 minute and then on the left, Marmoush moving across, or Bob, whoever, then it's just so much harder for the defence to manage, I think, and obviously your midfielders as well. So again, if it's Nunes on the right, This whole team comes down to the fullbacks for me. If it's Nunes at right back and we see an Ake or a Guardiola at left back, then we'll probably see an Oscar Bob on the left or a Doku who's going to hold the line high and wide. But as it's my team and I've got Nunes and Aït-Nouri starting, I'll probably give it Bob left wing. I think he deserves it. That would then leave us with Marmoush, Cherki and Doku on the bench to be impact subs as well, which is terrifying as long as Pep don't bring the fucking Bernardo on again when we're 2-0 down. And then Haaland up front, who, like I've said, needs to do more. So Ederson, Nunes, Cousinov, Stones, Aït-Nouri, Rodri, Bernardo, Reinders, Foden, Bob, Haaland is my team I would go for. Let's see how close I get. I'm sure Pep will chop and change it a load more than I have, to be fair. But yeah, it's mad how much those fullbacks actually play an impact into what team plays. Isn't it? So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what your teams would be. Whether you agree with me. I know people are always smoking me up on the Diaz talk. But people are starting to come round to that, by the way. People are starting to realise we cannot play this suicide high line with defenders who cannot run in transition, unfortunately. So you either change the style or you change the personnel. And in my opinion, the personnel needs changing. So yeah, that's the team I'd go for. City 3-1, like I've said. Captained Haaland in fantasy, so guy better not fucking let me down again. I keep putting my faith in him, so he's got to come up trumps this weekend. Yeah, let's run through the rest of the games then quickly. See where we stand after week 3 of the Premier League. We've got an early kick-off today, Chelsea versus Fulham, London derby. Chelsea have looked hit and miss for me recently. They looked a bit toothless against Palace in the first game, and that was with Palmer playing. And then obviously they took apart West Ham last week, but West Ham look fucking dreadful. Like, they've looked like the worst side in the Premier League so far. I think they lost in midweek in the League Cup as well after they were 2-1 up. So I can't take too much from that West Ham game because Sunderland put them to the sword as well. So going off what I saw in the Palace game, I think Chelsea are struggling a little bit to score goals. Palmer's hit a touch and go on whether he's going to start. I like the look of Estevao, who's come in. Obviously, João Pedro played the 10 last week with Delap up front. So I think it'll be a tough game for Chelsea. I do. I think Fulham are one of those teams who usually can get a decent draw against the top 6 teams. They're well drilled, they're set up well, they've got a good defence. So I can see a 1-1 here, I think. Chelsea-Fulham draw, I'm going to go for. Then in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, we've got United. Oh, God. That name, man, just makes me fucking laugh, man. Oh, I've not even really spoke about it. I mean, I put a short on, but Grimsby Town, man. With a very strong team out, by the way. A very strong team out. And Grimsby should have been 3-0 up. It's wild, the levels that this club has sank to, and it's fucking hilarious. But I wild carded on fantasy this week and had like United players in there, expecting them to batter Burnley at home. And I've had to take them out, man. I've got to take them out. They absolutely stink rotten. Every single one of them. So, do I think they'll win, though, against Burnley? They should do, really, shouldn't they? They've got to bounce back for Amarim, you'd think. If they don't, he's got to go. I mean, I'm not usually one for sacking managers, especially when you've spent so much money bringing the players and the personnel they want in, but you can't be dropping losses to Grimsby and Burnley back-to-back. But I think they'll play scared today. I think they'll play scared. I think they'll be terrified to lose. So I think they're going to shithouse a 1-0 win. Again, probably a penalty or just some horrible, like, scrappy goal. And That Benjamin Tesco as well, man. Oh my God. He is an absolute dosser, him. Taking the 10th penalty in a penalty shootout as a £70 million striker is wild. So I can't see him doing much. Probably a Bruno pen if he decides to take it again. 1-0. But it could genuinely be anything. Genuinely. Sunderland, Brentford. Brentford have done a little bit better than I thought they would, to be fair. They've looked a little bit better. They've still got some decent players. They've made a few good signings now as well. So, and Sunderland again, everyone gassed them up because they played West Ham the first week, but normal service resumed against Burnley last weekend. 2-0 Burnley, relatively comfortably. So I think Brentford should get the job done here. I did have Sunderland coming rock bottom in my predictions at the start of this season. So I think they've obviously turned up first game all gassed up, being back in the Premier League, and we'll probably start to see them sink into the what the level should be. So I can see a Brentford win. Sunderland might get a goal as it's at the Stadium of Light, but I can see Brentford 2-1, I think. Spurs Bournemouth. Good game. Spurs should win, really, shouldn't they? Super impressed by them the first few games. Super impressed with Thomas Frank and how he sets up. The thing with Thomas Frank is he sets up differently every game in order to win. Like, he's one of those managers that can adapt his style to depend on the team that he's playing. Whereas you look at like Ruben Amorim, guy's still playing fucking 3 centre-backs against Grimsby Town. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not got that adaptability to who he's playing. So I just really back Thomas Frank to be able to beat most teams this season. I think that's why Spurs will end up eventually coming in the top 6. So I can see them winning this. Bournemouth are really strong on the going forward, but I just question them defensively. I can see Spurs scoring a few here, but Bournemouth might nick one, to be fair, which would be the first goal that Spurs have conceded this season. But I back them to nick one, I think. I really rate Semenyo. I think he's really strong. So I'm going to go Spurs 3-1 against Bournemouth. Should be a good game, though, that, I think. Wolves-Everton, the last 3 o'clock kickoff. 2 average sides. 2 relatively well-drilled sides, I guess. It's at Wolves. I can see a draw here. I can see a 0-0, I think. Everton are just solid at the back, aren't they? Even when they've not got the full back 4 there, they're just solid. Solid team. And I think they'll probably think that's a good result away at Wolves. Especially with the full back issues that they've got at the moment. So I think I'm going to go for a 0-0. It'll be a boring as fuck game. Who's going to watch it anyway? I'd be very surprised if there's one person on planet Earth that isn't a Wolves or Everton fan that's watching that game. Then 5:30 we go to Leeds, Newcastle. Good game, to be fair, especially with it being at Leeds. The crowd's going to be well up for that. Obviously, Newcastle have got good fans as well. But Newcastle should have too much for Leeds. They've not looked great so far. Got absolutely battered off Arsenal last week. And let's be real, Newcastle absolutely tore the piss out of Liverpool for the first half an hour last week. Until obviously they conceded the goal on the counter-attack, and then Gordon stupidly got sent off. But then they still managed to get themselves back into the game with 10 men. So Newcastle should have too much for Leeds. I think they'll win comfortably, even without a striker or Gordon on the pitch. I think they'll probably win 3-0. But the weird thing is with Newcastle, they always get up for the big games. Like your Cities, your Liverpools, your Arsenals, and win them or draw them or whatever, or at least put in a fantastic performance. And then they'll just not fucking bother the week later against like your Leeds or your Wolves or your Evertons. It's like the same with the fans. Like, they get up for all these massive games, but then I don't feel like they seem that arsed when they play like the bottom 10 teams. So it wouldn't even surprise me if Leeds got a result here. But I'm going to go Newcastle 3-0. They should get the job done relatively easily. But yeah, don't be surprised if they end up dropping a stinker after they're on a little bit of a come down from the high on Monday. But yeah, they should get it done. Brighton City, I've already said, I reckon 3-1. Forest, West Ham. Beginning of this year, I was slating Forest, thinking they're going to show the levels. I thought they showed the levels at the back end of last season. They were really on the decline. But they've looked all right. Nuno's got them back into playing decent football. And West Ham, oh my God. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever seen a worse start to the Premier League. To go 1-0 up against Chelsea and then get panned like that in a London derby, and then the week before a 3-0 L to Sunderland. I'm surprised Potter's still here, to be honest. I can only see a Forest win, genuinely. And that's with me as a certified Forest hater. West Ham have absolutely reek. So I'm going to go Forest 2-0. And they'll get it done relatively easily. Forest have got a very solid defence. I can't see them conceding against West Ham. Well drilled again with Nuno in charge. So they'll get the job done, I think. 2-0 Forest, West Ham. Serious conversations about what direction they want to go in. To sack your manager after winning a European trophy, trying to be greedy, trying to go to that next level. The grass ain't always greener, boys. Do you know what I'm saying? Stick to what you're good at. You're not challenging for any Premier League titles soon. So, yeah, Forest 2-0. Liverpool, Villa Palace is the late kick off that game. So I'll do that one first because obviously Liverpool Arsenal's the big game of the day. Villa stink as well. Villa have been dreadful the last couple of games to start the season. They look toothless up front. And Palace are very, very well drilled. I can see a draw here. I think a 1-1 Villa Palace. Villa need to start scoring goals big time and soon. But Palace have got a very solid defence and a very good manager who again adapts to the games that he's playing again. His team are playing against on a weekly basis. And that would be a great result at Villa Park for Palace. So I can see a 1-1 there. Draw. And then finally, it is at R4. It's not the last game of the day, but we've got Liverpool Arsenal, the big one of the weekend. The two title challengers. Arsenal still title challengers every year, even though they can't fucking win a trophy. And Liverpool, who've never gone back-to-back, by the way. But yeah, City are underdogs this year, aren't we? We've got nothing to worry about. I've not been impressed by either. I can't lie. I know that's rich coming from a City fan who lost 2-0 last week, but Liverpool got absolutely battered by Newcastle last week. Obviously, the red card played a massive impact in that. They cannot sustain scoring last-minute winners every fucking weekend. It just can't happen. And then Arsenal against United were terrible. And this is a Man United who've just lost to Grimsby Town, by the way. And they were arguably the better side in the Arsenal game. So, it's going to be a draw, man. It's going to be a draw. It wouldn't surprise me, right? I know Arsenal fans have all come out going, it's their year. It's going to be different this year. Realistically, they should be trying to get at Liverpool tomorrow. Tomorrow. The back four's depleted. They look an absolute shambles at the back. They've got a couple of injuries in the team at the moment to big players. Arsenal should be trying to go there and dismantle Liverpool tomorrow and make a statement for the rest of the season. I think that could carry Arsenal to a very, very strong position by the end of this year if they can prove that they can go to a big ground away and not play for a fucking draw like they always do. So, I think it's as much a must-win for Arsenal as it is for City on Sunday. Not even points-wise this early in the season, but mentality-wise, they need to go there and do something. Because Liverpool look weak at the moment. They look like they can be got at, and there's no better time for Arsenal to put a job on them than right now. But they fucking won't. I just know it. It's Anfield. It'll end up being a draw, I think. It wouldn't even surprise me if it's a 0-0. And then Arteta and the Arsenal fans are coming out next week going, oh, but it's a good result of going away to Anfield and getting a draw. And, well, this is why you never win trophies, because you said the same when you got a draw against City 2 seasons ago, and it ended up costing you. So grow some balls and try and win. I think it'll be 1-1. I think it will be 1-1. I think Arsenal might take the lead off a set piece, corner, some shit like that, and then Liverpool will probably stink the place out the whole game, and they'll get a penalty, and Salah will score a penalty in like the 80th minute, and it'll be 1-1, and they'll both take it. They'll both be relatively happy with that. No one wants to lose to a direct rival this early in the season. So I think they'll both take that in the end. Especially with Liverpool's defensive frailties, I think they would snap your hand off for that right now, to be honest. And I think they'll set up a lot differently to what we've seen the last few weeks based on those weaknesses that we have seen. Obviously, Saka's out for Arsenal, which isn't the best, but they've got Eze coming in. Odegaard's out as well, but I don't even rate that guy that much anyway. So we'll probably see Madueke, Martinelli, Eze behind Gyökeres. This ain't the game for Gyökeres, I don't think. I think his style of play suits Konate and Van Dijk. Like, he wants to get in behind on transition. He wants to be big and strong and quick, and Konate and Van Dijk aren't the ones for that. So I think he'll probably struggle tomorrow. Salah will struggle like he always does. But he'll get some fucking kind of G&A by the end of it. Because he's an absolute stat padding merchant. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, 1-1 Liverpool Arsenal, which is a good result for City, really. If we can get a win on the board and bounce back, then it'll be looking good for us again. And I still believe that we can get in this title race, especially with people writing us off. But we might be having a very, very different conversation come Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, that's a rundown of the action this weekend. Let me know if you agree with me on my City prediction. Let me know what team you'd go for. If you'd go change the keepers, change the fullbacks. Do we want to see Rodri and Foden straight back in? What centre-back partnership do we want to move forward with now? Let me know if you think I've got the predictions right for the other games this weekend. Are we Liverpool? Are we Arsenal? What do we reckon? I'll probably be back Tuesday. We'll have a rundown of everything that we've seen this weekend. We'll have a rundown of the transfer window on the whole. Maybe we'll see a little bit more action before the end of this window. I know Viana dropped a little Easter egg in his interview after the Champions League draw the other day. So we'll talk about the whole transfer window in general. Talk about City's hopes after the first 3 games of the Premier League, which I'm hoping will be 2 wins and 1 loss, but we'll see. And I think we're going to have a special guest on to talk with us about that as well. So yeah, tune in. Probably will be Tuesday evening. But until then, if you want to chat shit to me, get on to me on Twitter at Barlow Jacob. Everyone's always dishing out the smoke on there. And sending me abuse all the time. So feel free to join in or just do it in the comments below. But yeah, like, subscribe. Let's get to 1K. So we can drop a live for the Manchester Derby in a few weeks' time. But until then, yeah, let's pray. Yeah, see in a bit, guys.